Love him. You know, we've kind of, tempoed him back a little bit. He hasn't gotten any of the live action. Does some indie drills, but love his movement. He's really strong. Like he's a very strong route runner, but he's also got some quickness, good hands, and we've seen what he can do with the ball in his hands after the catch. So he's gonna be an exciting player that, I'm chomping at the bit to work with. We're just kind of holding him back until training camp.
And I'm sure you're chomping a bit to work with the entire room. During the interview process and hiring and everything, I'm sure that was you couldn't wait to get your hands into working with that bunch, could you?
Yeah, and I knew Zay previously, knew how hard he works and knew how coachable he was, and the whole room's like that. They're very unselfish. They want to get better every day, and they know they're not at the highest level, and we're working towards that.
You mentioned that you knew Zay previously. Oh, Justin Lewis, I'm sorry.
I'm good. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too. You mentioned that you knew Zay previously. What kind of stood out from your previous interaction with him, and where were those interactions?
Well, I knew Zay. I was in Buffalo when he was a rookie, so I have, he was there his first 3 years. Kind of saw him get some bumps and bruises, grow up. I think it was great for him to move on, go to another team and kind of reestablish himself, which is what he's done. I mean, he's really accelerated his career. Had his best year last year, but he's a guy. He works it. I mean, every day. Every day, he's one of the hardest working guys on the field, and that's what you love to coach. Knowing guys that have worked their ass off, nothing better.
Doug said, Mia, by the way, nice to meet you, Chad. Doug said that when asked about possibly adding DeAndre Hopkins, he was like, our room's, it's perfect right now. Why would we add to it? What does that say about the caliber of this room that you get to work with every day?
It's exciting. I mean, these are great players. They've had a lot of success in this league, but one of the best parts is they're not complacent, and they don't think they're at the highest level, and they aren't. And there's always room to grow, and they want to grow. And they are very selfless, which we add another guy to the room who's very talented. But all they want to do is win. I mean, they know when everybody wins, everyone gets their share. It's going to be game to game, but it's been a great room. The guys are great. Really kind of creating those relationships, starting to get to know their backgrounds and where they came from, kind of becoming vulnerable a little bit. So that way, when the season comes and bullets are flying, everybody's on the same page. No one's taking it personally. We're just ready to roll.
Do you think that this room right now, as it is, it's good to go?
Oh, yeah. I mean, our room is great. And we got a lot of young talent coming up, exciting guys who are going to be competing for a spot or two. So it's exciting, and people are improving. So it's been great.
I'm sorry. I guess it'd be remiss if we didn't ask you about Calvin, what it's been like to work with him.
He's great.
At this point.
He's really good. We've held him back a little bit. He's really trying to get out there, wants to run routes, wants to get that chemistry with Trevor. So that'll happen more in training camp where he'll be able to go full go. But he's working his ass off. He's learning the offense. He's studying. He wants to know more. I see him taking notes. So he's been great. He just wants to play ball. I think it's been a while for him. He wants to play ball. He wants to compete. He knows he can. And he's excited, and so am I. I can't wait to get him out there.
I guess there's a lot of pent-up energy of his part and everything that, how difficult is the holding back process?
It's hard it would be hard for anybody, right? Especially because it's been a while, and he wants to be out there. He wants to make some plays, so it's hard, especially for him. He today, we held him back from something, and he was a little, but part of it. The good thing is he's healthy, and we're trying to get him to 100%.
Let's talk a little bit about you. What was the sales pitch? Who first reached out to who when it came to you coming to Jacksonville?
Yeah, I think I don't remember, but I think after my contract was up, me and Doug talked, and we've always stayed in touch. Since 2010 when we first met each other. But I've always loved Doug, and I don't know. Just after going through his first team meeting and hearing what he said to the players, I remember going to his office. I was like, man, I love what you're doing here. Like, I don't mean to use this word, but it's like we're almost the same vibe. Like what he believes in, I believe in. Like how he's leading, his leadership is great. I'm gonna learn. I'm learning so much from him, and it's great. I told him, I go, I want to do exactly what you did, play in this league and then become a head coach, and I want to learn everything I can from you. And he was excited to develop me and help me try to get to that point.
Not that we're looking for a scouting report from Buffalo, but what was the vantage point of the Jaguars from a different corner of the country last year as they made this run?
Wait, say that again.
So when you were in Buffalo last year, what were people talking about the Jaguars? Were you guys looking and saying what's going on in Jacksonville?
Of course. I mean, they were on such a streak at the end of the year. I mean, everyone was talking about them. It was exciting to see because I knew Doug and I was texting him congrats, and anybody on the team, Zay. It was great to see. They were exciting games. All those come from behind wins, especially the Chargers. I mean, I remember watching it. But yeah, I mean, they really came. The Jaguars came on strong, and I think they're heading in the right direction. We're heading in the right direction.
Had you been to Jacksonville before you arrived here? What do you think of the vibe of the city?
I love it. I love it. I've been to a couple concerts. The artists think they're booing them, and they're just saying Duval. I thought they were booing them at first. It's great. The people are great. It's been awesome being here.
What type of music? What type of concerts are we talking?
It was the Morgan Wallen concert, and he even said thanks for the warm welcome. Like I think he really got upset about it. I felt bad for him, but I'm sure he learned after the concert.
Hey, Chad, back to Calvin real quick. I mean, he laid out everything in that piece for players to do. I'm talking about the one-to-one basketball and everything too. Is that becoming less and less stigmatized now for guys to talk about that stuff than it used to be?
I think it's great. I think that's one of the challenges I have as a coach is everyone's got a different story, and just men in particular are more guarded, but my coaching style is very relationship driven. So if I can create a relationship, a trusting, vulnerable, loving relationship, then I know that everything I say, everything they say comes from our heart, and nothing's negative. There's no one takes it in a bad way when the bullets are flying during the game. But that relationship takes time. So that's what I've tried to kind of create this whole offseason. We've been having dinners outside the facility, just the receiver room. So I try to create those relationships, not just with myself and the players, but also with the players, because they're the ones on the field sacrificing for each other. When someone makes a play, the other one is excited just because we're scoring, and they're unselfish, and they're excited for that person. So it takes time, but that vulnerability is what I try to kind of create in our room, and I think if we can break those walls down, then the sky's the limit.